All right, so before we jump into this video, it has been 2 weeks since national championships. It's taken me a while to actually sit down and record this because I have had other stuff going on. My girlfriend was in town as soon as I got back, so I didn't want to spend time sitting here talking to my phone while she was here. But overall, Nats was a very nice, very good experience. The people over at Powerlifting United, really, they did a great job hosting their first ever national event. It was nice to finally compete at a higher level rather than at a local meet, but don't get me wrong, local meets are great. They are some of the funniest, best experiences you can have as a powerlifter. I mean, there's always something going wrong. So it's a little chaotic, but at nationals it was very clean cut, very organized. The warm-up room was amazing with like 5 different racks to warm up on. At a local meet, you probably only have like 2, and you're sharing that with like 6 to 8 other people who are all doing different kinds of numbers and everything, and it's a mess. But at nationals, it was a great experience. The people there, of course, I mean, the community of powerlifters, I mean, they're all great. I mean, we're all trying to do the same stuff. It's not really a competitive sport in a sense. I mean, the guy I was competing against, we were talking the whole time. Grant Stark is his name. But I mean, we were talking the whole time, basically just complaining about prep, about how our prep had gone and how our day was going so far. But ups and downs of the meet. Mentally, for me, it's hard for me to accept the good things that happen when it comes to powerlifting because I expect a lot from myself, but the bads usually outweigh the goods, unfortunately. But it was a good meet, set some PRs, as you'll see. Excited to go ahead and rest and get my knee all healed up. No squat or deadlift for 4 weeks, which is going to be great. Bryant is really going to give me some leeway here and let me finally catch up to the healing process of this tendinopathy. But overall, great experience. Might do it again next year. If I don't do a meet before then, I really only want to do 1 meet next year. I did way too many this year. I did 2 this year. I did 3 last year. It's just, I've really like overshot the load that my body can take, but now I just want to do 1 next year. I can't be in prep all year back and forth. It's miserable. But so let's get into the video. But before that, I did say something about peak week in my last video. I was going to make a separate video for that. Prep got horrible. I mean, it's just so draining, and it's just, I get home, I just want to sit. I don't want to do anything after the gym, and I might throw some of that in here. You know what, why not? I'll throw in a little bit of the peak week. Did not go great. Of course, it never does. Nothing ever goes how you want it to in this sport, but I'll throw some of that in here. But so let's just get into it. All right, so today is the day we are driving to St. Louis to go to nationals. It's 23rd of October, so Nats is in 2 days. Weighed in this morning. Not weighed in, but I weighed myself this morning at was 143, so I'm definitely fine for weigh-ins. Will not have to cut at all, but got this 7.5 hour car ride ahead of me, and I'm not looking forward to it, but we just got to get there. So I'll see y'all there. All right, so we just made it to the hotel, which is also the venue for the meet. It's about a 7.5 hour car ride from Tuscaloosa to St. Louis. So thank God that's over, but we are here ready to just rest and eat. But before I get to eat, I have weigh-ins in the morning. I have to weigh in under 148, but for dots, I'm wanting to weigh around 143 just for dots. So, won't eat much for the rest of the night. I was just weighed, I'm 146. I'll probably lose 2 to 3 pounds just overnight because that's normally what happens. But I'm ready to get weigh-ins over with so I can just eat, drink, and just start to feel a little better. But other than that, weigh-ins in the morning at 8. So, see you there. All right, so we just got done with weigh-ins. It's for nationals. I can tell the standards are already higher than a local meet, obviously, but it's pretty hectic. But got my rack heights for everything. The monolift is going to be a little weird, but I'm ready to eat and to drink for the rest of the day. Weighed in at 64.1 kilograms, which the cutoff is 67.5. So I definitely had like 7 pounds to spare, so hopefully I can gain that back today. But weighed in at 141, which I know I'm normally like 146. So the little weight cut I did yesterday for dots obviously worked, but I'm just ready to eat for the rest of the day. And I'm like, I can't even think. I haven't had anything to drink or anything to eat, so I'm ready to do all of that and just sit on my ass all day. So yeah, so maybe I'll check in out throughout the day, but I doubt it. But if not, see you tomorrow at the meet. All right, so it is meet day. It is time to get this over with. As you can tell, I'm very excited about today. Honestly, not too worried. You know, I have a lot of faith in my coach and a lot of faith in my coach and the program that he put me through these last couple months. The day I tested my openers and everything, didn't really go that well. But I mean, I was fatigued from the weekend before, so I'm not really expecting a lot out of myself coming off of, doing manual labor for 10 hours the Saturday before the Monday I had to do my openers. But I've got a lot of food in me. I'm up 5 pounds. I'm 146 right now. I weighed in at 141 yesterday morning, so I'll probably end up competing around 148, 149 after I get some breakfast in. So I don't know how much I'm going to record throughout the meet, but I know that my attempts are going to be live streamed. I'm probably going to pull the clips from there and put them in here. But yeah, it's time to get to work. So yeah. All right, so let's talk about squat. The knee injury obviously held me back during prep. Wasn't able to train the way I needed to. Had to skip a lot of back off sets after top sets during prep, which did really kill my strength gains. My strength gains basically have gone downhill all year in squat, but I'm happy I was able to at least get my second attempt. But so first we opened up with 391, kept it conservative. Wanted something we knew we could hit and not bomb out, which is very important. But hit 391, moved pretty good. On to second attempt, which was 413, which has been a bad number for me recently. It's moved slow, it's moved fast, it's moved good, moved bad, but we really thought that I could get that because why not? I've been able to squat 450 pounds before. But 413, had my thoughts about it, was kind of nervous about it walking up to the bar. With squat, it's just a mental thing throughout prep and at the meet, but it moved all right. It moved better than I thought it would.
Let's go, Cole. Push, push, push.
And it it really set the tone for my third attempt, which I thought I was going to get no problem. Obviously, I did not get my third attempt. I was just really mad at myself, disappointed in myself for not being able to get that. With the knee injury, my squat form has depreciated. I focused on going too fast, my hips shoot back, my ass shoots back, and it just messes up my squat. And I really told myself going into the meet that I need to just take it slow on the way up. That's usually how I squat. When I squat at my best, it's a slow squat. But obviously did not get 430, which really needed that for the total I was shooting for, which was 1200 plus. Going into bench, that squat messed with my head. It made me feel like there was no way that this meet could go positive in any way whatsoever. It really it set the tone. I mean, we wanted to set the tone at the third. We set it. Unfortunately, it was not the tone we wanted to set. All right, so going into bench, bench went as good as I thought it would go. The first attempt, which you'll see here, I jumped my press command. There are 3 commands in bench, and I jumped the most important one. There's start, press, and rack. And I jumped the hell out of the press command. I knew I jumped it as soon as I went up. I was just really excited about getting that first attempt over with. Now moving on to my second attempt, which was 264. Now that is 6 pounds off my personal best all-time bench, which is 270. 264 moved as good as I thought it would move. It was pretty slow. I do have a sticking point coming off the chest a little bit, or between the end point, between start and end of my bench, I have a bad sticking point. Also, I shake like a leaf during bench. It's just my CNS is fried already, which after 2 attempts, 1 attempt, CNS is already fried, which is a bad start. But it moved good. Glad I got it. Was huge for the total for the day. I really wanted 270. That's 6 pounds. Gosh, that 6 pounds would have put me at 1200 for the total. Little spoiler alert, I didn't get 1200 for the total. 270 did not move good. It was, like I said, it's matching a PR. Matching a PR on meet day is hard, okay? Especially on bench. Third attempt bench, barely anyone gets their third bench. I mean, they either overshoot, they jump a command. Third bench is like a unicorn. It's very rare if you're not playing it safe, which most powerlifters aren't. So bench went as good as I thought it would. Glad I got the 264. Now moving on to deadlift. Deadlift saved my ass. Opened with 474, I think. Yeah, 474, which, as you can see here, I had an iffy lockout. I locked it out, then unlocked it out, I guess, which resulted in 2 red lights, which I failed my opener deadlift. You do not want to fail an opener. But I knew I got it. I told the table, I was like, I'm just going to go up. We're going to go up to 501. That was the jump we wanted to make, 474 to 501. So they were like, "You sure you want to go up? You just failed your last attempt." And I was like, "Yeah, I know what I did wrong. I know. I've done this enough to know that why I failed it." Pro tip for most new powerlifters: if you think you got your lift and it got red lighted, just ask the judges why. Okay, they're not gonna bite you. Ask the judges why. They will most likely tell you. They'll probably be an ass about it. Remember, they've been there for hours, same as you, especially getting your deadlift. That's 3 to 4 hours in the day. They've just been staring at people lifting weights, okay? So it's warranted that they can be a little bit of an asshole. But they'll tell you what you did wrong. You just have to fix it. It's up to you to correct your mistakes, okay, not them. So with deadlift, moving into 501 for my second attempt, which went exceptionally well, as you can see here. It moved probably the fastest it's ever moved. 501 moved so well. I mean, it was great. Really, really set the tone for that third deadlift, which I desperately needed. If I didn't hit my third deadlift, I'd be looking at like an 1160 total, which is abysmal for me, which I would probably retire out of powerlifting. I'd never do it again. But that third deadlift is very important, especially if you're lagging behind in your total like you think you're going to be. The worst thing you can do is calculate your total during a meet. Was either the worst or best thing you can do. Also, the third deadlift was needed to place third in open, which we basically needed. Me and Grant Stark, the guy who competed with me on that day. The other guys were later in the day. He ended up failing his third, which was 512. Unfortunately, I mean, Grant, a deadlift is rough. I mean, we talked about it. You never know about that third deadlift, but he came back to like the area that we all stand before we have to go on the platform. He was like, "Oh, I failed." I was like, "How'd you do?" He's like, "Oh, I failed my third. So if you get yours, you're gonna beat me." And honestly, didn't care about that at all. This is all, at this point, it's more of a personal thing for me. I want to do as good as I can because I worked my ass off during prep. You don't want it to be for nothing. But going into the third deadlift, my confidence level was pretty high. Fun fact, they misloaded the hell out of my third attempt. I don't know if they were chipping it for some reason. There is really no reason. The loaders should have chipped it. I told the desk, I told the attempt people, I wanted 512. I thought after I pulled 512, or no, not 512, sorry. Even I get confused about it. After my third, which moved very well. As you can see, as you're about to see here, my third moved like a third deadlift. Going into that third deadlift it's a moment, you know, your last lift of the day, you're ready for the meet to be over. You're thinking, I need to hit this to up my total. No shit. But I needed to up my total. For me, it was crucial to hit mentally for me, not for my number, for my head. So as you can see here, I hit it. I celebrated like, I don't know, like I didn't even want to be there. But as you can see here, it moved. Okay, so let's talk about the results of the meet after the third deadlift, which I'm so excited I got. it ended up being 519 pounds, which is not even on the kilo conversion chart that they use to load the bar. So I have no idea where the loaders got that number from. I'm not complaining. I thought it was 512. I hit it. It ended up being 519, which is like a 20-pound deadlift PR for me, which helped the hell out of my total, which my total was 1197. Again, still haven't hit 1200 in a meet. I don't know if it's ever gonna happen because I just can't get my shit together. 3 pounds off. 3 pounds off. So it gives me something to chase still, which is great. So that's a meet PR for me, 1,197 pounds as my total. Dots ended up getting a 10-pound PR, or not 10-pound, 10 dot PR on dots with 435 dots, which is the best I've ever done. So that was really exciting. I found that out like 15 minutes after the meet had ended. Got drug tested, which took about 30 minutes. I don't know if any of you have ever been drug tested, but you'll probably go to the bathroom 8 times during the day. Like during the meet, I went to the bathroom like 9 times during the meet, and when the one time I had to, it wasn't happening. But besides the fact, the meet went, it was okay. Everyone that asks me about it, I say it was okay. My standards for myself are very high, unfortunately. That's what happens when, I don't know, I guess I'm good at powerlifting, but squat just should have gone better. It needed to go better. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately, with my knee. I'm going to use that as an excuse because my knee is screwed up. Patellar tendinopathy sucks. Basically, it's when your knee is stuck, or any tendon is stuck in the stage of inflammation, which is like the second stage of tendinitis. Don't quote me, I'm not sure, but it's rough, and it prohibited me from training the way I needed to. So the meet went okay. Overall, great experience. Would do it again next year. It's going to be in New Jersey, so probably not. I don't know what meet I'm going to do next year. At Nationals, I did set 3 national records for squat, which has to be changed. I've got to beat that. I do not want my national record squat to be 413 pounds. Okay, we got to do something about that. Maybe regionals or something, we can change that. But 519 deadlift. So that's a deadlift national record and a national record for total for junior. All of these are for junior. So it's a good feeling having those, even though the bar was set very low, but having national records is nice. But at the end of the day, you just want to beat your numbers. You want to beat yourself. You want to beat your squat, your bench, your deadlift. You want to challenge yourself. You want everything to go up. So unfortunately, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to have to keep powerlifting, which, ups and downs of the sport. Don't know what meet I'm going to do next year, but that's besides the point. I need to just take a little break from it. But if you watched the video, thank you for watching and being invested in my little journey to nationals. But that's about it. That wraps it up. So